you.
Thank you so
It's
much.
very nice to meet you, Bonnie.
Nice
And
to
thank
Very
you.
nice to meet you both. I was so moved. It is so powerful. So, Joseph, let's just start with you because I wanted to know what the origins are, how it all came to be that you wrote this, how you got together with this brilliant young lady, how it all evolved.
Yeah. Well, and it all started 4 years ago at the start of 2017. At the time, I was getting really into boxing, and I actually found KO through the social media page of a friend's boxing page. So I was immediately drawn to her just because she was a world-class boxer, and I wanted to see her boxing techniques and all that stuff. But then I noticed, that she was a very outspoken artist and activist who uses her platform to speak out on things that she really cares about.
Yes.
So, I'm a filmmaker that's trying to do similar things with my films. I haven't made too many films yet. So I wanted to reach out to her just to meet her and talk to her. So borrowed a friend's car, took my little camera, drove up to Providence and just started hanging out with her, interviewing her, just getting to know her. At the time she was training for a fight. So she has to go to the gym twice a day sometimes.
Twice a week, twice a day.
Sometimes a day.
You're pretty good for twice a week, I gotta tell you.
And so I went, and we went to this our typical really tough, hot, sweaty gym with all these like world-class dudes and ripped guys hitting the bags, and there's KO just amongst them. She's one of them.
Yeah, one of the guys.
And she's doing her routines, hitting the bag, you know what I mean? And then it comes time to start sparring, and some dudes are talking some junk, and she's like, okay, and she just kind of just matter of fact, takes the chick piercings out, puts the headgear on, gets in the ring and starts sparring these guys. So at the, just watching this, and at the moment there was an inexplicable thing where I was just like, this is powerful. There's powerful grace to her. Like this, I need to put this on the screen.
Yes.
And so, one thing that Kaylee has always been fights for and is articulating fights and talks about is the missing and murdered Indigenous crisis. And it's one thing that I was reading and learning about more too, as it was becoming more into the media.
Yeah.
So, we got together and started talking about possibly making a film together, coming together, as two artists. She's an artist, I'm an artist, like, let's come together and make this. And one thing that we really, sort of the initial base and initial idea that we both kind of resonate with is we both have siblings. We both have older siblings that kind of helped raise us. So the bare bones of it, the initial idea of just a jumping off point between us was a woman searching for a sister.
Yeah.
And then over the course of 2 years, really, we continued to work together, and I wanted to invite her. I wanted a collaborative partner for the story and all of her, her insight and her perspective. So we came together, and really it was just a process, a collaboration that was in flux leading up to the point where we started shooting, which was at the end of 2019.
Right. And Kaylee, for you, honestly, I wouldn't know this is your first time on the screen. Like, you were a natural. You did such a phenomenal job. My heart went out to her because it was interesting to me. Here you are, this strong boxer, but underneath, she's just as vulnerable as anyone. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about that and how hard it was for you to kind of wrap your mind around this acting world. Or was this really coming from a place of the heart?
Well, once we had some practice, I guess you will, like he had kind of put my toe in a little bit about the whole acting thing when he slid up in my DM and asked me if I'd be interested in acting in one of his movies. So I'm like, here we go again. Some guy has this idea, whatever. But he turned out to be legit. And he had passion behind what he was talking about. And he just wanted to get to know me. And I always wanted to, being an artist, being a storyteller, being somebody who just wants to get messages out, wanted to get into acting a little bit. I just didn't really know how. I didn't know if it was going to be for me. Mm-hmm. But once I got together, once we kind of really had the basics of acting, and he hooked me up with one of the best people on earth ever, acting coach Sheila Gray, and she really broke me down and really explained things. And it's really motion pulls from real things, but it's just in this character. And this missing and murdered Indigenous women, relatives, boys, men, Indigenous people altogether is such a hard thing for me, of being an Indigenous woman, to speak about or even to hear about, because I travel to communities and I sit with these women that have lost their families, lost their loved ones. And I always say energy is real. It doesn't matter if somebody's sad, you feel that. You know, I'm very empathic. So being somebody who has a platform and built a platform on things that were given to me by my ancestors, and being that modern day warrior, I knew it was something I had to do. So I'm a person, if there's something, a task in front of me, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure this acting thing out. And I had to pull from real emotions, and even to just dive into this character, that I actually have to put myself in that situation to be one of those people that have to firsthand deal with missing somebody's gone.
Right.
It was tough, but again, I kind of find it as my duty through my boxing and now through my acting to kind of tell these stories. And when Joseph first met me, I had just lost my brother, my older brother. So I was in a very vulnerable state. And I was searching and researching and going through things myself, and trying to find a way. My boxing was my outlet, but I couldn't box because that was our thing. So there was just so many different aspects of it, but pulling from real emotions, and being able to be stable and grounded enough to really get that out, knowing what the end goal is and get that message out, is really what drives me and holds me all together. Otherwise, it probably would just, because it's a heavy subject.
No kidding. It really is a heavy subject. And I honestly hope it brings awareness, which I know is obviously a major goal of this, this movie. Look, I'm talking to you from Toronto, from Canada. We're having our own issues right now. And it's a very important topic. So thank you for this film. Joseph, ultimately, what really impressed you about this young lady?
I don't know if it's because we're both Virgos, if we're both like mixed kids that had confusing adolescent years, but we just, I mean, she has a grace to her that I think is just very palpable when she just comes into the room, and she's so I don't know, I just felt like we just got along immediately. And what impressed me the most, I mean, there's a lot of things that impressed me, but as a director, we were doing it's not like we shot the film sort of very verite style where the camera's drifting handheld a lot of the time. It was very designed shots that we had to do a lot of the times. And, she was just so natural with all of it, hitting her mark and finding the light. And I mean, it was stuff that's pretty hard to do technically, you know what I mean? And she was just, it just came so natural to her, and also, I really admire just how fearless she is. And I think it comes probably from boxing. I'm sure a lot of it comes from that.
For sure. Yeah.
But I think like, that's what, I was just, I just saw the natural, ability. Like, I don't know. I was really like everything in terms of bringing her perspective and her thoughts to everything also was like, it was just a very great collaboration for me. And I get inspired by real people, and part of being a filmmaker for me is like making a film like this is a special journey, because it's not like I do a lot of episodic television directing to pay the bills. And
thank you for all that great stuff that you give us, because I'm a TV actor and I love all your stuff. Yeah, thank you.
But that you actors, you shake your hand and you do the scene, but this, with my films, I'm always looking for a collaborative partner, but also to build something more. And this was so much more a friendship and trust that was built to go on this journey together. Yeah. And a lot of times when you're, especially a movie like this, when you're like trying to find money, and it's really hard to get a movie like this made. Yeah. Well, what's great for me as a filmmaker is at any moment I can just grab my camera and I can go hang out with KO and we can just work on stuff. And I feel like we're doing it, we're making something.
Well, and clearly, look, you caught the attention of Darren Aronofsky. I mean, that's not too shabby.
Yeah. Well, he's a legend. He's a legend.
Yeah, I mean, what do you learn from a man like that? I mean, that's amazing. His films are phenomenal, and to have him in your corner, that's fantastic.
Yeah. No, I'm very grateful and thankful that he's a real champion for the film. He really, I mean, I think when he first saw some of the interviews I did with KO, I think that's when he really saw like, oh, the power of what the film could be. Yeah. And as an artist and a director, he just kind of really pushed me, especially in the edit, to really like, you know, try things and explore things and try to kind of think outside the box and think about the grammar of a film. And he's a very brilliant mind with all that stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
very grateful to have him be a part of it.
Yeah, congratulations on that. So Kaylee, to wrap it up, I mean, are we still going to see you box? Are you now like, has the acting bug bit and now we're going to see you in a million films? Like, what's the deal? Come on.
Oh, the acting bug bit me when we first even dove into this. Like I said, it's funny because I had just a week ago before he hit me up, I put it out into the universe. I'm like, you know, if it's meant to be, I want to do it. I don't know where to start. A week later, he hit me up. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to kind of follow my path. I absolutely love it. It's something else I can do I'm very expressive, very artsy. I'm still a current world champion. I have a lot of big plans, but you know, I told myself in my 30s, I don't want to fight too much longer. I still enjoy it. It's something that I can use parallel and I can use that work ethic in acting, but hopefully you'll see me. If people want to cast me, you're going to see me. I'm in for it. I'm in it to win it.
Good stuff. Well, we will listen. I'm going to get the word out on this film because you are spectacular in it. Really, it's so moving, so powerful, and it's really been just my pleasure to talk to you both today. And best of luck with it. And I can't wait to talk to you on your next collaboration. I'm already looking forward for you.
Yes. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Bunny.
Bye, guys. Have a good weekend. Thank you. Bye-bye.